Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here. We are at Baxter Cycle in the mighty mini-tropolis of Marnie, Iowa, and look what I got behind me today. Our goal is to find what I feel is the most affordable motorcycle on the market today. And I believe we've got it right here in this Royal Enfield Hunter 350. I'm going to get my gear on and we're going to take that thing for a ride. Wahoo! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hot rod, look at that. A little over half a tank of fuel. I think we're good to go. If you're in the market for a new or used Royal Enfield, Triumph, vintage British bike of any type, accessories, parts, gear, anything at all, get yourself down here to Baxter Cycle in Marnie, Iowa. They can help you out. BaxterCycle.com, order today, ship tomorrow. Wahoo! Okay, let's go have some fun. First thing we will do is go the wrong way so we can turn around in a circle. This bike has a wheelbase of 53.9 inches. I think that's 1,370 millimeters. And look at that. This is the best turning of all the 350s. Probably of all the Royal Enfields right now. This is a bone stock bike. Dapper white, I think is the color. This is their $3,999 plus $500 setup fee. That's total cost, with the 3-year unlimited mile warranty and roadside assistance. Let's do the spin test right here. That nifty short wheelbase really goes a long way right here. Look at that, huh? Does it get any better than this? Absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. Wahoo! Handling is superb. Ground clearance on this motorcycle is 5.9 inches. I think that's 150 millimeters. And the reason it's so low is there's no frame under the engine. The engine literally hangs. So this has got the least amount of ground clearance of any of the Enfields I've ridden. I love riding these, by the way. I've got a 350 myself, and they're just a hoot to ride. Mine's a classic model. Well, let's spin it around in a circle here, huh? Of course, there's a little bit of gravel on the road. Well, not much. We can do it, though. We can do it. Look at that. Look at that. Excellent pickup. Beautiful machine. I call it the Hunter Scepter because it's a Hunter, but it acts a lot like an Interceptor. Just a whole bunch of fun. Excellent brakes. 300 millimeter disc in the front with the dual pod Vibri. 270, I believe, in the rear end with a single pod Vibri. You know what? We'll go down the road here just a bit. See what we can get out of her. Good pickup. 4th gear, 5th gear. This has a 5-speed transmission. Fuel tank is 3.5 gallons. That's about 13 liters. And this bike is supposed to get about 80 miles a gallon. Look at that. It just turns around on a dime. Excellent. Excellent. The engine is a 349cc. Single cylinder, single overhead cam, 2 valves, air cooled, oil cooled, 20 horsepower with 20 foot-pounds of torque. That's 27 newton meters. All that torque comes in way at the bottom, so it's right where you need it. Engines like that are notorious for producing a lot of torque down low. I love that instrument panel. Okay, let's do the hill spin test here. Nobody coming from any directions? Look at that. This bike does it better than any of them. Absolutely better. It's got the shortest wheelbase. It's got excellent handling. It just does it superbly. If you're ever in Marnie, Iowa, get yourself over here to the Derailed Grill right there. Get yourself some good eats. Now look at that torque. Absolutely, absolutely beautiful. That engine is just a dream. And the 5-speed transmission in here is just awesome. I've got the same engine and transmission in my Classic, and the more you use it, the better they work. It's just amazing how well they work. And I love that gear indicator. Front forks are 41 millimeter. Front travel on those are 5.1 inches. That's about 130 millimeters. Rear is got shocks with about 4 inches of travel. That's 102 millimeters. Not sure if I said it already, but the seat is 31.1 inches at 790 millimeters. And it feels a lot lower than that. Incredibly good handling machine. I just love the way these things behave. They're well mannered. This is the most sporty of the 350s with its lean forward seating position. It's the lightest of them all, 399 pounds, which is 180 or 181 kilograms, I believe. Okay. Quite a ride, quite a ride. So we're going to focus on the price to begin with. That's $39.99. plus $500 setup fee. That's what you'll pay Baxter's. After that, you go to the courthouse, where you'll pay a registration fee and a sales tax fee. And I think the sales tax in Iowa was 7%, something like that. And that would be your total cost. Anyway, what a beautiful machine, huh? So let's start with what she is. This is the base model of the Royal Enfield Hunter. That means it's got the, this is their plainest paint, which I think is just gorgeous, by the way. It says Ride on this side and something else on this side. Pure, so Pure Ride. It's a beautiful machine. 349cc, air-cooled, oil-cooled, single-cylinder, overhead cam, single overhead cam, 2 valves. You can do the maintenance yourself. You pop the tank off, take that valve cover off, and everything's right there. It's one of the most simplest ones I've ever seen. It's got a 5-speed transmission. The thing has, the engine produces 20 horsepower, 20 foot-pounds of torque. That's 27 Newton meters. All of that is way at the bottom. The bike itself weighs 399 pounds. It's 181 kilograms. That's wet. That's with a full tank of gas. 3.5 gallon gas tank. That's about 13 liters. The seat height is 31.1 inches. That's 790 millimeters. It feels a lot lower than that. And the reason that is, very narrow through here, you know, very narrow through there. Wheelbase on this hot rod, and this is a really important number, 53.9 inches. That's 1,370 millimeters. And that's why it's so agile. And one of the reasons it's so agile and so nimble, and we'll get into the next one here in a minute. Ground clearance is 5.9 inches. That's 150 millimeters. And the reason that is well, there's many reasons, I suppose, but if you look at this thing, it's kind of hot. The frame ends right here. So it starts up here, goes across the backbone, comes down here and stops right here. The engine is literally hanging right there. Just hanging in there until you get back here where it joins again to the frame. And what that allows the bike to do is lower the center of gravity, lower the mass numbers all the way down, and give you the best the lowest center of gravity feel. Front brakes on this is a 300 millimeter disc on the front with dual bi-breeze. It's got anti-lock brakes. I love that mag. Isn't that just beautiful? I just love that wheel. You better look at it this side. Like a giant snowflake. Beautiful. 41 millimeter forks, by the way, with 5.1 inches of travel. It's about 130 millimeters. And I like the fact that they're covered. The rear brake is a 270 millimeter with a single pot bi-breeze. Dual shocks in the back. 4 inches of travel in the back. That's 102 millimeters. Tires on the rear are 140/70/17. Look at that tire. Isn't that neat? It's a 17 on the back. And on the front, it's a 180/17. And that's another reason these things handle so well. All the sport bikes have 17-inch tires, you know, low center of gravity, short wheelbases. This bike's got it all in that sense. Let's talk about style. How do you like the way it looks? I think it's a very sporty looking bike. I think it reminds me a lot of the Royal Enfield Interceptor 650. I like the way it looks. I call it the Hunterceptor for that reason. You know, it's a very sporty looking machine. I think it has great lines. I don't know if you all see this here, but it's got this flow line here like this. You know, kind of whoosh. Same thing here. And I just, it really catches you. And I love the way this looks. By the way, that's, open this with a key right here. Now I want you to notice how far back the foot pegs are. On my Classic, the foot pegs are about right here. On the Meteor, the foot pegs are about up here. On these are farther back. And that adds again to the sportiness of the bike. Why it works so well. I love the fact that it has not only a side stand, but a center stand. So the bike comes with the center stand. You know, there's a lot of classic look here, but there's also a lot of new look here, you know. It's a very modern bike with some really good classic touches, you know. I like these grab bars on the back. I like the swooping seat. It's almost flat. You can get a flat seat for this, by the way. Let's jump up here real quick. So here we've got an information button. We'll get back to that in a minute. Flash to pass, low beam, high beam. Blinkers right there. Horn down here. Now below here, I always forget to show this. There's a USB port right there. It's waterproof and it's only active when the key's on the motorcycle. I've used that on my 350. I love it. On this side, you've got the kill switch, the run switch, and then the rocker start switch, and then the hazard lights. Of course, the throttle right there. Now, I'm going to point this out real quick. These are some of my favorite levers on the market right now. I ride a lot of motorcycles, and these actually stand out. I like about them is I like the sweep. I like the way they're stylized. I like how wide they are this way. I also like the radius on the end. They've done a very good job in that sense. Just an excellent job. And of course the mirrors. Now let's jump up here and look at the dash. I call this the Oculus. Speedo on the outside, analog. And here we've got the digital speedometer, a clock, always showing clock and always showing gear indicator, so you always know what gear you're in. And down here we've got trip A, trip B, and trip C, and we control that with this information button right here. So watch this right here. Odometer 6.6 miles, trip A 3.5 miles, trip B 2.5 miles. Very well done, very well done. And I like the way how everything looks here. You know, the little covers on the ends of the forks, everything's kind of finished off. Good color. I also like these Amal style grips. Very nice. They go well with the bike. You know, that's a classic feature from old Royal Enfields. And isn't that just beautiful? The case, you know, the dark engine. Just, it's a lot of classic, it's a lot of modern. Everything in one, you know. Versus the fuel injected bike. Has all the benefits of a modern motorcycle. And if you're interested in something like this, new or used Royal Enfield Triumph, classic British bike of any type, or this particular bike for $39.99 plus $500, get yourself down to Baxter Cycle in Marnie, Iowa. They can help you out. Now, it's a nice day. I'm going to go ride. Y'all do the same. Wahoo!